Good morning, students. Students, as we were discussing about biotechnology, in biotechnology, we were discussing about the tools of recombinant DNA technology, and I told you about the various tools. And today, I will discuss about the first one tool, restriction enzymes. As I already mentioned, that the restriction enzymes are called as molecular seizures. Why? Because these are used to cut DNA into fragments. Now we already know that there are two types of restriction enzymes, restriction exonucleases and endonucleases. So I'm not going in detail right now because in my previous video I have explained it in detail. So today I will tell you that what is the procedure of nomenclature of these restriction enzymes. Means what are the different rules which we must have to follow while we are going for the nomenclature. So students, I want to tell you that the convention for naming these restriction enzymes proceeds in a way that the first letter of the name comes from the genus and the second two letter come from the species of the prokaryotic cell from where they were isolated. Means there is a restriction enzyme, and this restriction enzyme is suppose it was isolated from a bacteria and the bacteria's name was Escherichia coli. So while we are going to nomenclature, while we are going to give a name to that particular restriction enzyme, so what will we do? The first letter of that particular restriction enzyme will be taken from the genus of the particular bacteria. Means Escherichia coli was the bacteria, its genus is Escherichia. So the first letter E will come from the Escherichia. Now the second two letters of that particular restriction enzyme, while we are going to give a name to the restriction enzyme, then the first letter is coming from the genus of the bacteria, while the second two letters will come from the name of the species of that particular bacteria. So similarly, Escherichia coli was the bacteria, so in capitals E came from there, and then two small letters C and O, because coli is the species, so C and O will come from the species. Is it clear? So there, this is the case of the three letters. Now I am going to tell you about the fourth one letter. Now fourth letter comes from the name of the strain, whatever strain we are using to culture that particular bacteria, we are providing a particular name to that particular strain. So from that particular strain's name, one capital letter comes. For example, I am giving you one example of restriction enzyme, and the name of the restriction enzyme is eco r1. So E comes from the Escherichia, CO comes from the species, R is the name of the strain, and in Roman the first is written, and the first means the sequence of the particular restriction enzyme, or we can say that the order of that particular restriction enzyme in which it was isolated or extracted from that particular strain. So similarly, I have one more example, eco ry 13. E comes from the Escherichia, CO comes from the coli, and ry is the strain, and 13 is the sequence. Is it clear? So in this way we are going for the nomenclature of restriction enzyme. Along with it, I will discuss about the action of the mechanism. How, what is the mechanism of action of restriction enzyme, means how endonucleases cuts DNA, and what is the mechanism behind it, I am going to tell you in detail. As we know that restriction enzymes are of two types, exonucleases and endonucleases. So exonucleases cuts DNA from the corners, so there is no big issue along with it. Now, right now I am going to discuss about how the restriction endonucleases cuts a DNA segment. As we know that each restriction endonucleases functions by inspecting the length of the DNA sequence. Means initially what happens, the DNA the DNA of the restriction enzyme inspects the whole DNA, and while it is going to inspect the whole DNA, it identifies the particular sequence through which it has to cut the DNA segment. Means restriction enzymes are specific. Why these are specific? Because they have a particular sequence, and in my previous video I already told you that these sequences are called as palindromic sequences, because in both of the strands, because DNA is a double stranded structure, in both of the strands that sequences must have to be same, so that's why these are called as palindromic sequences. So initially the restriction enzyme inspects the whole length of the DNA, okay, and then finally it finds out the specific recognition sequences, means the sequences which are specific to it, then it binds with the DNA and cuts the two strands of DNA from its backbone. So it is mentioned here, once it finds the specific recognition sequence, it will bind to the DNA and cut each of the two strands of the double helix at specific points in their sugar phosphate backbones. Now I already told you that each restriction endonucleases recognizes a specific palindromic nucleotide sequence in the DNA. And now what are the palindromes? I already told you that palindromes are the groups of the letters that form the same words when read from forward or backward. Like Malayalam is the example, therefore it is called palindromic sequence. If you will read from left to right, it is Malayalam. If you will read right to left, then it is also Malayalam. So similarly, if you will observe a sequence which is mentioned here in the picture, and the sequence is, if you will observe the strand of the DNA from 5 prime to 3 prime direction, the sequence is GAATTC. While if you will observe the another strand of the DNA, so if you will observe the sequence, so from 3 prime to 5 prime it is CTTAG. But if while you are going to read it out from the 5 to 3 prime direction, the same direction, it's similar, GAATTC. So this sequence is also the example of palindromic sequence. So therefore the palindrome in DNA is a base pair sequence that is same when read forward or backward. Example, the following sequence in, if you will read in 5 to 3 direction, means if you will read about from 5 prime to 3 prime direction, you will find out the same sequence. It is GAATTC in the upper one strand, or in the lower one strand you can also read it out GAATTC while you are reading it from 5 prime to 3 prime. So restriction enzymes cut the strand of the DNA in little away from the center uh, of the palindromic site, but between the two same base pairs. Okay, now how I want to how it works, I will show you later on in the figure. So I mean to say that while the restriction enzymes are going to cut down the DNA segment, so it cuts little away from the center, and it leaves two similar sticky ends. Now what are sticky ends? I am going to tell you that. Okay, this leaves a single strand portion at the ends. These are overhanging stretches called sticky ends on each strand. These are named so sticky ends because they form hydrogen bonds with their complementary cut counterpart. Now here in the picture you can see that. Now here in detail you can see that, okay, there is a DNA strand GAATTC is the sequence in the upper one strand, and similarly in the lower one strand GAATTC is the strand. Now the eco R1 will cut it. Now how is it is going to cut down? You are observing that from G it is cutting, and a strand is going to move out, and AATTC will be removed. Similarly, in the lower one strand you are observing AATTC is here, and G is removed. Okay. Similarly, there is a vector, and in vector the same, it's coated in the black color. The same restriction enzyme is going to cut it. So same sticky end is leaving here also. Okay. Are you observing it? The same restriction enzyme is used in both of the cases. GAATTC is the recognition site for the eco R1 restriction enzyme, and while it is going to cut the DNA, you are observing that one sticky end is left in both of the cases. Here in the white end you can see that which one is called sticky end or hanging strand, we can say that. In the black one you can also observe that what is the sticky end. Okay, now with the later on, because they have hydrogen bonds, so later on they can bind together with the help of the ligases enzyme, and they will form a recombinant DNA. Here you are observing that, okay, this is the vector DNA plasmid, or this is the foreign DNA. Vector means in which we have to introduce the foreign DNA. Now we are using the same restriction enzyme to cut vector as well as the foreign DNA. With the help of the same restriction enzyme, we are cutting the fragments of the DNA, and we are going to join them together. So by this way we can introduce a gene of our interest in a vector, and finally this vector will be introduced into the host cell, and it will replicate and will form the products of our will. Is it clear? So this is the whole mechanism behind the rDNA technology and how the restriction enzyme works. I hope so you understood it. Still, if you are feeling any difficulty, you can concern with me. Thank you. Bye bye.